Welcome to your Saheli chat show. My name is Jaz Saikon, and with me I've got, as always, Gudyal and Davinder. Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Hi. Sashikalji.
Jai Gurudev ji. And ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦਾ ਦਿਹਾੜਾ ਆ, so happy Vaisakhi, ladies. ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦਾ? What do you understand about Vaisakhi? Share your few pointers.
Well, it's just one of the most important days in the Sikh religion, isn't it? And I've had lots of messages from all over the world, and it's just a great thing to be a Sikh, I think. That's my personal opinion.
Exactly.
Would you like so the phones start, don't they? Even start a day before, messages, and then we think we've got to reply back to everyone. And it is a lovely experience because Khalsa means different to everyone. For me, Khalsa means more connecting with that pureness within inside me. That's Khalsa for me.
Yes.
And that's me sort of like giving an opportunity to eliminate all my destructive thoughts and thoughts of blame and judgment. So that's me connecting with the Khalsa within me.
Beautiful. For me, I love it because it's vibrant, colourful, and it was the day Guru Gobind Singh Ji formed the Brotherhood of Sikhism, the Panj Pyare, and also it's like a gathering point. Like with the Nagar Kirtan hunde a sare paasiyan te, and people are getting together, sare seva karde apo apni, and also, you know, people in the Punjab, they celebrate it even more because they celebrate it because it's like harvest. Just after the harvest, so they're celebrating that and Vaisakhi and the Brotherhood. So it was started by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, wasn't it, back in 1699? And it's great that we celebrate the birth of the Khalsa even today.
That's right.
And ਅਸੀਂ celebrate ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆ, and you know it's a big day. And ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਦੇਖੋ lockdown it was all quiet, so it's great to see the Gurdwara really busy again.
Yeah, it's nice to see that again.
Kalapa or film the Kisigi, the Supreme Motherhood again, that was to do with Vaisakhi.
It was nice to see the Sangat, the Mahal, and
yes.
a lot of the people we hadn't seen because of the lockdown. It's so nice to see everyone again. And chote bache as well, they're really into the movie. This is an animated movie, you know, as Mata Sahib Ji did, and it was a lovely movie, and it just shows you when you're in that sort of environment, you really feel proud to be a Sikh. You really
Absolutely.
do.
I think it's a really good way to get the message across, you know, to all generations. It's brilliant.
Definitely, and that message in there was like, you know, she was so like spiritual and connected to who Mata Sahib Ji was supposed to be, and because she lived and breathed that, nobody questioned her. And they just let her go, and she just lived her life like how it's supposed to be. She didn't get married, she didn't have any of her own children, but she became the mother of the Khalsa.
And it was
I just thought it was so beautiful.
It was her love and devotion towards her Guruji that gave her the strength and courage to deal with all those crazy obstacles and challenges, that and himmat mil gayi si through the love that made us realize watching that movie that pyar di enni shakti hai.
Exactly. And you know, we always, every episode we do, we always touch on the current climate as well, with like the living costs rising, and obviously the wages are not really kind of matching that. It's hard, isn't it? Like idan de time de vech to actually do everything that we got so used to doing. So it's time to tighten our belts a little bit. Tusi kardiyan ne apniyan belts tighten tak kidda kardiyan je kardiyan?
I think I don't think it's a bad thing. I think sometimes, you know, we get into this culture of just buying and spending for the sake of it. If you look at the way shops are and things like that, and sometimes we do need to hold back and look at the value of what we're actually spending our money on. You know, and it is good to kind of have a look at things which we may not need or want. I mean, if you look at the waste, the food waste, you know, the clothes that we waste, you know, in this kind of advanced country, we actually splurge more than we kind of save. And yes, of course, there are people that deserve the extra money and things like that, but for most people are comfortable, so I don't think it's a bad thing to kind of pull back and actually think about where your money's going, because most people have got so many direct debits going out, but I doubt they even look at them or even actually monitor where their money goes. So you know, you might have to reduce maybe a Sky package or something, or you know, those kinds of things. But for the people who need the money, and you know, for their children who are in poverty, well then definitely they should have it. I mean, thinking about this, I mean, something that really bothers me is you know, the food banks, they've been going on for ages, for years and years. So what is the difference now? I mean, because they should never have come into play in the first place. You know, we've got enough food to share if there's so much waste going on.
And you're right. And this also teaches people on lower incomes, I suppose, to save something for a rainy day. Because you see this, don't you, like doing a fish and chip shop, certain businesses, or in these sort of areas that they're not working, they're getting benefits, and they're easy come, easy go. But ਇਹ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਆਵੇ ਯੰਗਸਟਰਸ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਫੁੱਲ ਟਾਈਮ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੇਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੱਖੋ because COVID has already taught us anything is possible. The lockdowns, you know, we never expected to go through that, and now the inflation is like reached 7%. That's a 30-year high. So you know it is a shock, but ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਟੀ ਲਾਈਟਾਂ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਟਾਈਮਸ ਆ you know ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਲਿਆ ਆ they've made like money on their properties, but ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗਾਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਮਹਿੰਗਾ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਆ. So they are challenging times, but it's just to save a little. Give
just
a little,
avoid unnecessary expenditure.
Yes, exactly.
Because we don't realise, we do them quite often and we're not aware of it, and just be sensible about it. And also work, again, you know what I'm like, work on your mindset.
Exactly.
Don't work on the lack and scarcity, because you're going to notice these sort of things more, that you're struggling on a financial level. Just work out, think on that basis, I always do have enough. If sometimes you get a fine, sometimes people start worrying and get really upset when a fine million, but just think, I just got money to pay for it. Oh, that's shukran. I've got money to pay for it. Instead, you got a choice in it. I'm going to worry and stress about the fine, or I'm going to be thankful that I got to pay for it. Just that way, you start to feel richness in your life.
Exactly, and like money is just a transaction. एक कड़ी जरा पर transaction कर देता, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਦੇ ਸੋਚਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ. ਉਹ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. I was lucky, fortunate enough to have it, to pay it, done.
But if you think about COVID, the whole of COVID, I mean, look at the transformation that has caused. A ripple across the world, and those are really, really challenging times. But people found something in there. You know, a lot of people found a lot of goodness, of talents that they'd not looked at, or you know, doing things that they were mindful of. So maybe this is another kind of way of being mindful. With your money.
It is. People started growing a lot of things fresh from home. You know, and I think, like you said, the lockdown really did benefit us from, especially people started using their cycles and instead of using the cars to travel.
The cleaner air.
That's right.
There's always a benefit there somewhere, but sometimes we just have to try and find it.
Absolutely, and you know, when we were just discussing, like, you know, when something in life, like this is spiritual, I'm going to just go off on a tangent with that. You know, when we feel something doesn't feel right, some people are so scared to question it as well, aren't they? But ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਜੇ ਕੁਝ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ right ਨਹੀਂ feel ਹੁੰਦਾ,
that's usually an
indicator. Instinct, isn't it?
It's an instinct, and you should question it. But those that question stuff and change makers are never liked, are they? So I, you know, me personally would always question stuff, and I do question stuff, and you're not liked, and sometimes community भी नहीं accept करदियां सानू करके वो कहंदे vocal या जा question बहुत पूछदी है. How would you feel? Would you question stuff if something wasn't sitting right for you, and would you encourage the younger you to question?
Yeah, definitely, because that's your internal safety mechanism. You know, your gut instinct is there for a reason. It's a God-given gift that unfortunately I don't think we don't use it at all now, because life is so busy. You know, everybody's on their phones, or they're watching the TV, or they're talking to their friends, so we don't tap into that.
No, because we're wanting to fit in always, aren't we?
And it's like your friend you was telling me in the car about, she rang you and questioned you about a situation which she felt, in a gut feeling, she felt she didn't want to pursue it, but at the same time she felt worried about making a decision on it. But that is usually where the worry and insecurity comes from, because you have fear of offending someone, fear of being disliked, fear of being judged, but at the same time you know this is not something I feel is for my highest good I need to pursue. So that's where the questioning comes from. You know, so you want someone to validate it. You know, maybe I can avoid this, having to refuse that person. I don't want to be disliked. So there's these parts going on in your brain. One part wants to say, I want to refuse this, and the other part saying, if I refuse it, then I might be disliked. So that's where the questioning comes from.
And you feel like, if I raise my voice, no one's going to help me, because 100 years ago, women were actually jailed for using their voices or raising their voices or asking too many questions. आज भी किते किते people are scared, and I think when you feel you can't be who you're really supposed to be, and then people get really depressed, don't they? And this is where, like, you know, horrible thoughts start to come, because you talk to people and you hear this and thinking, this is me and this is who I want to be, but I'm struggling to actually get my voice out there. So me being me, when I wanted to, for example, set up your Saheli, because I felt it was my purpose, I needed to do it. And day, night, I was just thinking of this. And because you were thinking about it so much, the universe even helps you to get it. So my message is, if you are feeling uncomfortable or feeling you need to do something, share it. Because the right people will come and find you.
But if you get that niggling voice, chatter in there saying, is it safe to do this? You might make a mess. People might mock you. You will be disastrous. That's not really your voice. That's the voice you probably heard from when you're little, from your society, your parents or your teachers or someone. That's really not a voice. It's a voice you recorded and kept it saved as a recording inside you, and that starts playing.
So this programming that is playing, do we ever? Can we change it?
All the time. That's what life's all about. We're here to change our programs.
So I want you to tell our viewers how.
This is how we get our spiritual growth, and this is what we're here to do. This is every time we get a challenging situation, an obstacle in our lives, this voice starts playing, and that voice is a program, and that's a recording from our recorder as a young child from our parent. It's something that we thought we had to. It's there to keep us safe, to keep us protected, how to function through our lives with everyone and every relationship. But this is not our recording, it's not our belief, it's something we've recorded somebody else's voice, and that keeps playing. And it tends to get louder, this voice, when we want to make a decision that goes against what they recorded. And that's when we start to feel all the insecurity and uneasiness, and then we start doubting our decision. Because that voice, one voice will say to us, the authentic voice, say, oh, this is going to be such an empowering thing for you to do, you will grow from this. But that niggling recording voice starts playing, and it starts to override your conscious awareness. But this is when we got a chance to actually, and this is when we can become aware and say, no, I don't want to continue with this recording. I need to pause it and delete it and put my new recording into my new voice. And then we start repeating, no, it is safe for me. It is exactly for my highest good. So you start saying those new, like a new sort of affirmations, and you keep playing it out until it starts to delete the old recording
and create what you want and how you want your life to be.
And also going on what you've just said in terms of people not liking you or whatever because of the way you are, then that's not your group of people, and they don't reflect the kind of person you are. So naturally they will fall away, and that's a good thing. It might be difficult at the time when you're going through it, but eventually, because they're not working for your higher good. So it's a good thing when these kind of people
drop off.
They drop off, and good luck to them, you know. But that's okay, because they're where they are and you are where you are. So some people are gonna, when I used to work at the school, I used to say there's two kinds of people in your life. There are those that lift you up, and there's those that bring you down. So you decide who you want to be with. Because the comforting place in your life is amazing, but life is always going to be the same. And growth is where everything that you've just talked about, that's where growth happens. That's where you can do anything when you're growing, but when you're stood still and you're stuck,
stagnant, it's not good, is it?
And it affects your physical health, your mental health, because it's the same thing day in and day out.
Because you're not looking forward to anything, are you? And you're just like, you're still, and you become a people pleaser, if you like, just to stay in those circles.
And this is where, like in this country, maybe more than, is people are so mad about their holidays, because it's almost like those are the only 2 weeks of their life that they're doing something completely different. But but we can make our life different every single day.
Yeah, like we do. We always say we're really living our life on our terms, and it feels wonderful because life is supposed to be so simple, and we're the ones that complicate it, right?
Yeah.
But I have to be honest with you, I think the people have been nice to me, behaved exactly the way I expected them to behave. I've not grown from them.
No.
Yeah.
I've been stagnant with them.
Yes.
I've allowed to stay in my comfort zone.
You need both kinds of people.
I stayed in my comfort zone, but the ones
Definitely.
that have really been challenging, the ones triggered me, they really made me question, and they made me aware of what programs we were running. Programs to the point that I didn't feel worthy of being respected or loved. Programs where I felt I wasn't capable of achieving, success. I can't sustain it
because you want to do it to make a point as well for them and for them, for yourself.
So once they've made me aware of that the program I need to change, and that's when those people will somehow organically will move away, because their purpose was to make me aware of it, and they do a natural cause. They find themselves, either they moved away or something's happened, that they do leave your life.
And this is where I always say, if somebody has, say, upset me or let me down, I never say, oh, because of them I feel like this. We've given our power to them.
Yes.
So you no longer have got your remote control in your hands.
You control how I feel.
Yes.
And because
that's
of you,
dangerous.
and that's but most people live like that.
This is what I'm saying. Most
as
people
a slave
do.
to people's
and there was in that
behavior.
victim and blaming, and I just think life happens. It's okay. Separate it doesn't matter. But as long as you're growing, you're living, you're looking forward to life. And is I love what you say. When you say ਆਪਾਂ role play करना है ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ role ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਇਦਾਂ play ਕਰਨਾ ਸੀਗਾ, and then when you meet at the other end in the spiritual, you'll have a laugh about it because they think you do your role.
Sare we come in these beautiful costumes vagera and playing these beautiful roles, but everybody's playing the perfect role. That person who's going to cause us so much grief and tension and worry, they're playing their role beautifully to make me heal something in me that I need to heal. I would never be aware of what in me needs healing.
And there's another thing where we want to help people, but we can only help or support or guide people who are willing. And that's where you kind of got to work out that there are people that don't, that, like you've just said, playing their roles so well, but sometimes inside of us we want to change those people, but they're doing what they're meant to be doing. And that's us understanding other people.
वो आप भी change हो जाते हैं. So once we change, वापस एकदम बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाते हैं, to the point that because they will start showing the relationship that we changed with ourselves. But most of the time we're not aware how we treat ourselves. We're always expecting other people to treat us nice, but we don't have to treat ourselves nice. From morning till sham tak, we always find something. I need to improve on this. I need to be better on this. I need to get stronger on this. It's part of us believes that I'm not good enough yet. It's always I'm not. We believe I'm not good enough, but when somebody else shows us, behaves in a way that makes us feel not good enough, we get so easily offended. But they're only showing to because you already believe I'm not good enough in this.
See, we're now obviously midpoint, right? Mid-age, right, in life, and we understand life a lot better. So, I suppose we struggle a little bit, me especially. I didn't go to uni and I didn't have what the youngsters have today, so it took me a bit longer. But at least I did it. You see them, all their life, say something happens to them, obviously midlife, you're going to have losses in life. Some people can't get up from that. But whatever happens to you, it doesn't define you, and it shouldn't define you. It's how you've come out of the situation the best possible. But I understand after it. Each person is different, and people that haven't done any work, I can't stress this enough, how important it is to do the inner work, because Baron, we all want to look nice, we want to wear nice kapre, but what's going on inside of us?
Exactly.
I mean, from what you're talking about grief, aren't you, where people maybe lose somebody,
which they will in life.
But grief is happening all the time. We're always losing something, whether it's our phone, whether it's a loved one, whether it's our house, our
identity.
job, our identity. Change is something that will always happen. I mean, and I love the fact that in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, it does talk a lot about attachment.
Yes.
And when we become attached to things, whether it's family, friends,
that's when
we should remember that everything that we've got, we are going to lose at some point.
Yeah.
Especially even when we die.
Yeah.
But even before that, God is always teaching us that this isn't yours to keep.
No.
This is mine.
Yeah.
So if we go through life thinking that, then we would be better. If we thought, if in any relationship, this person may not be here tomorrow, then that relationship is so much more special.
Because it's a gift, isn't it? Friends, they're all gifts to you. So they're not. He's not said they're going to be there forever. Nothing and no one is permanent, right?
I mean, I was just thinking about that Shabad, Kisna Kije Dosti, Sab Jag Chalanhar. I mean, that means that who should we make friends with?
Yes, that's
because
right.
everybody's going to leave us.
Yes. It's a process.
But it's so beautiful because it does mean that, if you can help somebody or make a difference somewhere, then just go out and do it. But then at the same time, if that person's not ready to receive, then just accept that
it's okay.
That's your, you've done what you can.
That's
and
it.
It's the attachment that really makes the grief so unbearable.
Yeah.
And because we haven't thought about it enough.
And it's because we feel it's a separation, and people so fear of separation, abandonment, as one of the biggest fears that humanity has to deal with. But we forget that we're all connected, we're one. We're coming on here, we think we're separate individualities, but we're not as ikya. But once we connect to that true essence, then we sort of let go of that fear. And when our loved ones do pass on, we really find ourselves suffering because we had attachment to the physical body. And because if we let go of the physical body and we actually connect to our soul, our consciousness, then we have less of that suffering.
You see, the culture and growing up, that this isn't spoken about in homes. So obviously when it happens, when you least expect it, people struggle. And especially youngsters. I mean, last week we went to a funeral. She was only a young woman, young children. It's obviously the attachment, it's their mother who's passed away. So, and they don't expect this, they've still got their grandparents. They didn't expect this. And it's happened because, obviously we think, we don't talk about death because we always feel sad in any honey. The gay, death, they make them feel uncomfortable by saying, oh my God, so we'll leave them, because they're grieving, right? But it's part of life, it's the circle of life.
I mean, it is a primitive behavior because if you think about it, we're still hardwired in our animal instinct. And as animals, we have to, in order to survive, we have to be in the tribe, we have to be connected, because one of the animal wanders off, they could be eaten and killed by a predator. So we still got that hardwired, that primitive behavior. So when we experience abandonment or separation here, that fear, that hardwired primitive fear comes up and it overrides our conscious awareness. So that's why we feel like if somebody leaves us, a loved one leaves us, how am I going to survive on this planet?
Remember one of our friends was talking yesterday in the car when she was talking about a friend who'd passed away, and she was saying, oh, how's her daughter's going to cope?
Exactly.
We have that fear, don't we?
So it's a primitive behavior. But once we do really allow ourselves, like you said, you do that inner work, you connect with your consciousness and you realize there's no such thing as separation. Only our mind believes in separation, but our heart and high consciousness. And that's why I don't feel the loss of my mom and dad in the spirit world. I feel more connected with them now. I never feel they're separate from me.
See, because whatever we tell our mind, it's going to believe it, isn't it? So
I mean, I think, I agree with what you're saying, but I think as a young person, as a child, then you are going to go through the experience of I'm so angry, why did this happen to us? Why is my mom or my dad gone, and where are they? But I mean, it's difficult. It's a difficult one because if you talk about it, it's almost like people say, well, you're trying to kind of, the people who are got superstition are going to think you're trying to bring that into the family. So it is important to talk about these things, but they've got to be done so sensitively.
Because when it happens, although we that is our healing when people get together. But it's just kind of accepting that it will happen. I mean, obviously, they are totally different. They do accept, and it changes you as a person, and it changes you as a family as well. And life, like I said, nothing is permanent. if you don't face, if you haven't faced death or anything like this, Paramatma kare you don't. But marriages break, things happen, life happens, doesn't
loss
it?
Is everywhere.
Loss is everywhere, all different types. Children are growing up, they're leaving their nest, they're getting married and they're moving, and that's a massive loss. And it's losses like this people struggle with. But and sometimes even you talk to our age couples, and they've been together for the sake of everybody else, and they've been together because they're kids, and then when the kids are gone, that's when they realise, who are we? What are we supposed to do here?
And this is the important thing. I mean, look, for our Asian people, they are quite lucky because they've got the Gurdwara. But in my opinion, I don't think Gurdwara do enough. I think there's so much more that they can do, and to include all ages. I mean, it is changing a lot. You've got the Sikhi camps and things like that for the younger generation, but I still feel there's not enough for the older generation, for the space that they've got to make it more of a holistic place where they can kind of have coffee mornings and not just prescriptive stuff, but some stuff that's really helps them with yoga and things. And I know it's happening, but I still feel there's a lot more that we can do.
Yoga's very good. Yoga's all about reunion, the meaning of reunion, so you're connecting back to who you are. But even like depression, I always find depression meaningful. I don't think it's a mistake happening in somebody's life, because it's like you said, it's a form of deep rest, depression, and it's through that deep rest and why it feels so agonizing and so fearful the person is going through it is because they're actually losing the old identity. So they're grieving. That's a loss of that. They had attachment again, fairy attachment to the old program, the old way of thinking.
They're losing control of themselves, aren't they?
And they thought that was the only way they had to survive and function through life. But depression sometimes it comes like a universal wake-up call to go into that deep rest, find your true essence of who you are, and break free from the old version of you that wasn't very healthy and productive. But you are actually grieving that. That's another form of grieving, letting go of that attachment. And you're coming, and it's like a rebirth. You're going through the canal, and it seems like a painful process. But it's through that pain you gain.
You're going to gain,
and you gain resilience. But it's not just that. It's the fact that as human beings, we should be totally independent. That person might not be with me tomorrow, and we've got this thing, and we go through life just thinking that person's always going to be there, and that's the biggest shock.
And the biggest, I think, thing to accept is and
we need to create a life for ourselves where it's full. Whether that person's with us or not, and a lot of what we do and youngsters, we think we're going to get whatever we want from somebody else. But if our life was fulfilling anyway, yes, of course we're going to love and miss that person because they were a part of your life. But at the same time, if we understand that we're both temporary, so it just makes it a little bit easier.
This is what I exactly did. Like after my husband passed away, it's hard, but I chose I can't sit and wallow all the time. Either I get up and live my life and make my children proud, or I make myself ill. There's two choices, right? So you get up, and when you get up, you uplift other people with you.
That's right.
And when it happens to them, they might think, oh my God, it happened to her, she's fine. Because I was looking for somebody who I could look up to, and I couldn't find anybody. I think, okay, be that person, do this, use your voice. It's okay. Change makers are not liked, but it's okay. And it's not, you feel so proud of yourself when you make these changes.
But when you made those changes, you weren't in a place of choice. It was something you had to do.
I had no choice whatsoever.
You have to get up and when you've got children and you've got a house to run and things.
Survival, wasn't it?
So you have to go into survival mode. So even though you are a change maker, you didn't have a choice about it.
No, I didn't have the choice I would have had would have been just to sit and just lose my voice, lose my identity, like you've just said, and completely detached from who I was. That wasn't sitting well with me, so the choice I had was that or this.
I love that saying, a woman is like a tea bag. You don't know how strong she is till you put her into the hot water.
Exactly.
Then you're doing a strength.
Exactly. It's so true. And it's like, jo bhi kuch thode na hunda bhi hai zindagi ch karke to zindagi hai. It makes you who you are today, and you appreciate everything that you've been through because it's got you to where you are today.
I I mean, even though during the time of grief, of loss, you know, we have to understand that, that's the worst time in the world.
It is.
I don't think there's any other time.
No.
You know, and we fully accept that. I mean, I know we're talking because we're older and we've been through these experiences probably more than once, you know, a few times. So it becomes not normal, but more easier to deal with. But as a young person, it is earth-shattering.
A younger person, and also men, can get up by ladies. We talk, you know, we like to talk. I'm feeling like this, or I need to get away with you and have a chat. Whereas bande, oh ta gal vi nahi karde kahi. And I always feel so sorry for them. I just think they should talk more. Because April is the month of self-awareness, and at work, you know, we've had a few like talks on it, which is really good because again, the same thing comes up. Men really struggle with this kind of thing because again, you know, jada pa keh dinde buriyan have struggled, patriarchy keh lo, kuch bhi keh lo. Again, men struggle with it as well because they've been told to be a certain way.
They're also behaving on a primitive way as well. Men in the cave time days, they had to feel like they just had to be the protectors and providers, and they haven't got time to, you know, being emotional. They can't afford to be vulnerable because they have to protect the tribe.
Because so if they become like that, what's going to happen to the rest?
That's right. So they're just coming from a hardwired behavior. But like I said, I think when you have done your inner work, and I believe that, you know, once you can really enjoy your own company and being alone, then you know you're in a better place of dealing with grief and loss. I just personally believe that. And you're less codependent, and you're less of having attachment to someone when you enjoy being alone and your own space in your own company.
And you understand and accept that one day this is going to happen. So you mentally, you start to kind of prepare yourself. I mean, I know this is it's a subject that most people don't want to talk about, but I think it's really important. I mean, my own nanny, she had got all of her stuff ready before she was going to pass away.
That's what they used to do, didn't they?
And to them, that was normal. And I think that's a good thing. To have everything.
To be smile and they say, which I think it was really great.
But we need to go back to that.
Back to basics. And these old ladies, honestly, they're wealth of knowledge, and like the few that are remaining, it's so nice to talk to them because they don't fear it. And jo bhi aapa fear karde oh thode mode aa janda hai, because we are, like, you know, creators of our own destiny. Reality.
But when I heard that, I thought, oh my God, you know, it's amazing that somebody's actually gone and bought themselves a suit and shawl or whatever it was that she was going to wear.
I think we'll be like that. Honestly, I think we will be.
To be boutique,
because we have open conversation. This is why we're doing this chat show. We think kise da pala ho jave, koi gal kise de palle pe jave. It's great because when we get to a certain age, and it's good to share your wisdom and share reality of life.
And it's really important, you know, because funerals are so expensive now. I mean, I've spoken about it with my family, and we said, oh, I just want cheap and cheerful, you know, cardboard box or whatever. But, you know, it can go into thousands. So if you can do that for your children, maybe that's the best thing that you can do.
Exactly.
So that they don't have that worry.
Exactly. And you know, when you've just said about funerals, you know, when somebody dies, sare badiyan speecha karde ya. What's the point? Aapa bande nu jeende nu keh diye. Bande nu jeende nu keh diye. You're wonderful. We love you. You're so important. Or one of the best to kar do speech. Why do we have to wait till they've gone? They're not here to hear anything. So
I don't know,
we forget that.
Just people, all the guests who are attending the funeral, all of a sudden everybody's so kind and loving and compassionate, and you think that, you know, the 1 minute they hear they're gone, I know you should take life for granted. All of a sudden we're taking life so much as a valuable experience, and then a few weeks later everybody's back into their normal.
Like you say, you've got to go to work, you've got to do stuff, it happens. But honestly, when I saw this post flying around, and I just thought, apa sare nu kende kate ni what we think of you, how we're feeling. Because at the present
our ego,
moment,
isn't it? Our ego gets in the way.
And that gets us in the present as well, when we're actually talking to each other like this.
You know, they say, forget this, kyun time waste karte hain, me to see, I'm holding on to a grudge. You go through that conversation in your mind, but like you said, a few weeks later, people gone back into that same old pattern of blaming and feeling a victim.
And bas, jida asi hamesha le itthe hona, asi kade jana hi nahi hega, apan nu cheta bhul janda, you know. You know, there's this. I think we spoke about it the other day. You know, it's like if I said to you, मैं तेनू हर रोज 84,200 pound दूंगी, right?
Oh yeah.
तो जिन्हें तू खर्च ले ठीक है, जेरे तू नहीं खर्चे मैं वापस ले लेने हैं। वो तो साथ ही गल हो गई। रब सानू रोज 84,600 breaths ਦਿੱਤੇ ਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ, and one day he's going to take us back ਸਵਾਸ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਆ, so ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖਰਚੋ, enjoy ਕਰੋ, use them correctly.
Yeah, because ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਈ ਲੋਕ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you know they might be doing something ਸਫਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਕੋਈ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਔਖੀ ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, you know ਚਲੋ ਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਕਿਸਮਤ ਆ, you know I'm just going to do what I need to do, I'm not going to come down कि भी जो कुछ महाराज ने मैंने दिता है, that was the way my mom used to speak.
मेरी किस्मत जो मैंने मिले जाना
है, you know, but we can change our life and we can make things better, and so we need to remember that all the time.
Definitely. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions now, ladies. So just give me, you know, we've been talking all things midpoint, right? Just what does willpower mean to you, Davinda?
Willpower. My willpower is, to me right now, having the willpower to stay calm and in peace amidst all chaos. That's my willpower. That's where I feel it really does. I really experience it to that level.
But you've got the willpower to stay calm and still.
Yeah, having the willpower to do that, because for me that is my spiritual growth, and that's for me that moment. If I can stay calm and peace, I've connected with God then.
Yes. And being around you two, honestly, I'm feeling this. There could be so much chaos going on around me, and I can still sit calmly through that. Honestly, I can't turn my that's नहीं सकती viewers ਨੂੰ भी enough. किन्ना जो तुसी अपने आप ते काम करते हैं, किन्ना तुसी you know difference महसूस करते हैं. And I'm at that stage now, and I feel so good and so calm, and I love my own company. And you know, you just have so much to do, and you're not. I know some people are like, "Bra, हम देसी कर ले हैं, और मैं की करूँगी कर ले." I just think, right, great, कोई नहीं करेगा. It's my time to just be me and just like connect with me and do what I love. You answer now the willpower.
Well, willpower for me, I'm not going to take it as high as this.
Okay, you can.
If I can stay away from chocolates and biscuits.
When you say मैं नहीं खाना, पर कई बार जब आप कहते नहीं मैं नहीं खाना,
you want it more.
You want it more.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to be real, because willpower is just, sometimes it's really hard. I mean, just the little things that you don't want to do. You know, I mean, for me, meditation, to have the willpower to do it every day, that is beautiful for me, because that's my time. And doing things that are just for you, that make you a better person, that's got to be the best willpower.
Absolutely.
Because I think we spend so much time taking care of other people.
We do.
We always neglect ourselves. And that is where the beauty is. If we start being loving towards ourselves and doing all those things, then that's where the willpower needs to be.
Exactly. For me, it's to do the Chopisab every single day. Because, you know, I've been doing that since 2013 when I was going through like tough times. My daughter printed it from work and she goes, "Mom, do
Really?
It's for protection, isn't it?" And I never miss it. May religiously, that's what I will do, the Chopisab every single day, and I love that as well. And it's probably what's protected me and got me, you know, through life and got me to where I am today.
If you believe it so strong.
I believe it so strongly. I'm going to do my part. And the Chopisab is where I finish. And I love doing that.
See, I mean, I listened to, I don't know, by Binderpal, I think his name is, and he said that if you read one ang a day, then that can make such a difference to your life. And for me, I mean, I'm very lucky, because I read Punjabi. And
you are lucky.
English, I'm very, very lucky. So being able to read it and the transliteration and to understand it, whichever level you're at. I mean, obviously, the people who are Bhatti and Granthi and all those things, they have such a deeper meaning. But even from the basic meaning, it's still beautiful. So, you know, you can get it in English, and even doing that is really, really good for you.
That's so beautiful how you said that. And you know, they say that, don't they? Rabbal nu apa do pair chukiye. He takes 1,000 towards you. So it's amazing that you can do that. I can't do that, but I can read like in English, but I can't read Punjabi.
But it doesn't matter, you know, whether you can read it or not. Even if you listen to Shabad, you know, that will give you the calmness and the patience and the love for yourself and the Bani. You know, because it does say it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do something that's actually for your greater good.
That's like it said. This is how it's repetition, the job.
Yeah.
And this is what reprograms are, the old beliefs, so we don't let them keep playing out automatically.
Yes.
So the repetition we're doing on a very powerful vibrational words, which is Gurbani is, so that overrides our old subconscious programs, which are very limiting and destructive.
And this takes us nicely into our May event, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is really about finding who are you at the core, who are you? And so many people are wanting to do this now. You hear this more and more. But who am I without all my labels, without, being a mom, a wife, a daughter, a sister? Who am I really? Who am I meant to be?
And I think this event is so important because we all really, really resonate with it, from so many different perspectives. But for me personally, I think it's like an awakening. People are living the life that they're living, on autopilot. A lot of the time, everything we do is on autopilot. But we need to come back from that. But we're so unfulfilled. We might have the best handbag, the best clothes, but we're still not happy.
No, that's right.
And that's what we need to find, that our own inner, within ourselves, where is our happiness? What does it lie in? It could be in anything, but it's about getting back to basics, that's what we need to make time for.
And for some people it could just be a little bit of freedom, because it's like it could be something very small, it could be something very big, but whatever it is, we do need to find it, because right?
I just do find that apna in Asian culture more than Gaudiya, and Gaudiya are more accepting of this concept of self love and everything, but apne bande still feel like it's hankari, it's pride and self-conceiting sort of behavior. But I think lack of self-love, actually, that is being selfish.
Yes, it is.
Because you wanting someone else to give you that love. And I can share that incident I had with somebody I knew from the Gurdwara. Remember I told you about it?
Share that.
He's very high up as the Gurdwara preacher and everything. And so he sort of like challenging me about this concept of self-love. And he kept saying to me, you're being too, proud of yourself, and then I said, okay, whatever you believe in, it's fine. I believe in this, fine, but I know it's allowing me to have a much harmonious relationship since I started loving myself. And then sort of he just asked me to get him a glass of water. And it's okay, so I gave him a glass, but didn't pani nahi paya, which I just gave him an empty glass. Remember?
You told me as well.
And then he goes that, but it's khali hai. And I said, "Tusi mangya si glass of water, but khali hai." He goes, "That's not good to me." He said to me, "Because a khali glass is nothing. It doesn't do me any good. I need the water inside me." And I said, "It's just like if I gave you pani pada, and then you're happy then. I'm having to give that to you because you're empty." I said, "But if I fill that up with love, if I give you my love to you, and if I loved myself first and then I gave it to you, then you feel fulfilled." Do you understand? I said, if I was empty, I'm giving you an empty glass. So I had to fill my vessel up to be able to give you love. I'm not good to anyone if I'm empty, so I need to love myself first in order to fill that glass up for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's sort of like, he didn't know what to say. He just went sort of like stuck with his words, and normally he has always something to say. He's always got an answer back, and he understood that concept. You really need to love yourself first before you can give it to someone else. That glass full of water, it's full of love. Then thoda and the thodi pyas mit diya hai na.
But if you think about all the lower emotions, like anger, jealousy, envy, all of those come because we're looking for somebody else to give us what we want. Or we're looking at them and comparing ourselves. Whereas if we just accepted who we are as being perfect, the way you've just described, then that wouldn't happen, and we would feel happier with who we are. So it all starts at that level. Why am I looking at that person to make me feel?
Comparison is the worst thing that we can do.
Comparison is the thief of joy. That's what
it is.
Good at quotes.
It is absolutely. No, comparison is the worst, because we're all different, and we're all going to have something.
And we have to celebrate who we are as
the other person's going to have something that we don't have.
And it's about finding that out.
And keeping your mindset positive, staying happy, everything goes hand in hand, you know, making good food. ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ, and you can so easily do that with all your meals at home, can't you? ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ ਤੁਸੀਂ with like high frequency words ਬਣਾਵੋ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ meals ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਹੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, right? And I love that when ਸਿਆਣੀਆਂ tell you these sort of things, you know, ਸਿੱਧਾ ਕਰਦੇ, and I'm because I lost my mum at a young age, I love listening to this sort of thing. ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਹੁਣ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਸਵਾਦ, ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਹੁੰਦਾ, so tasty. But we can do this in our homes, but it starts with you, but you've got to be at that place yourself to be able to do this.
If you're making something with love,
exactly.
ਥੋੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੋਚ, energy ਸਾਰੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਖਰਾਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ, even things that you wear as well, everything's got energy, even in the ਥੋੜੇ ਪੈਸਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ, you know, money can turn into something for good value or it can be used for bad means.
It's like when somebody goes to somebody's house, they're going to say hi, you know. That's what it is. True though, because that's the energy they're putting into it. So feel you know, because they don't feel welcome.
Exactly, and I'd like to touch a little bit on the money, because money, say you've got X amount of money, that ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਕਦੇ ਪੈਨੀ ਖਰਚਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੈਸੇ always you're going to feel I haven't got enough. ਸਾਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖਰਚਦੇ ਆ, it has to be flowing, doesn't it? And flow ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਉਹ ਖਜ਼ਾਨੇ ਭਰੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਮਾ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਣੇ ਆ, ਪੈਨੀ ਕੰਜੂਸੀ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਣੀ, it's not going to grow.
No, you're coming from a place of lack. You're always going to feel that maghrib, you're always coming from that place is not enough, even though there's plenty of money there.
Yes.
In the ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਦਿਸਦਾ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦਿਸਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਕੀ ਦਿਸਨੇ ਆ, but ਹੈਗੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਆ, because what you see, what you perceive, that's the lens you see from.
Yes.
And but like it's an example in my family, my husband came from a upbringing where they had to really save and work hard and save,
and which is good as well.
Yes, but they came from a place that was not enough. It wasn't enough. You know, so I came up from an upbringing that we always had enough. There was always, whenever I wanted something, there was always enough to pay for whatever I wanted. So we got the same amount of income in the house, but yet, ohi income to I can buy and do whatever I want. You know, because that's my belief.
Yes.
And all his income that my husband thinks is not enough. But can you see?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like growing up, you know, I always thought we were wealthy. Because my dad had businesses, you know, and we lived in a nice house. I always thought we were wealthy, and life hasn't deprived me of that at all. And now my grandson, who's 6, he thinks he's a billionaire. Which is lovely, isn't it? I mean, no one's telling him anything, but he feels like this.
That's right.
It's where you're coming from, like, so you're not coming from lack. And my dad had a thing about having wads of cash in his pocket because they came from lack. It was what they came to make here.
That's right.
So for them was like having loads of cash on you.
That made them feel rich all the time.
That made them feel rich, and that's what they felt. They're working hard. Your jibby should be full.
That's right.
As we're a bit different now, we think, okay, we use a card. We don't have that much cash on us, but we like to be in flow of it, right? We like to spend it where we need to, give it where we need to give it, and we're never short of it, are we?
It just comes back.
It comes back.
I mean, I've had friends who would count every single penny of where they're going to spend it. But whereas I never used to really look at my account. I used to just spend it. But obviously, be conscious.
Be conscious,
But still not, you know, as long as you're not gambling and spending money on things which are never going to come back.
Exactly.
But if you just kind of give to charity, give to people where it's needed and things like that. I've always found that it does come back to you.
You find people who won the lottery, but they lose it. Why do they lose it so quickly? Because they've got a mindset of lack and scarcity, and they're not deserving of money, and money's not good for you.
They don't know what to do with it, do they?
Because of what they believe. So whatever we believe, if we believe that we always have enough, so make enough if you believe that you have to work hard for it, you will find that you, and then it goes. And some people say, oh, as soon as my money comes in, it goes out even quicker.
Because they've already said
it's true, they've already said it. Gordy next to me, who sits next to me at work, she'll always say, oh, you know what, she goes, my mum has wads of cash, right? But she goes, I don't have it. I just live hand to mouth on the agenda, because you're saying this, aren't you?
Because that's what you're setting out.
So you've got to say, like, my dad used to use positive words like,
my mum used to say that.
Honestly, because they said, don't use words like, I'm low, or I'm stressed, or because you're coming from a low frequency.
It is, and you speak it into reality, into existence. So be careful what you say, and always say that you know, it doesn't matter, even people say in the economy and everything is being affected. So it doesn't matter what's happening out there, I always have more than enough to do anything I want.
Yeah. But like I said, be mindful, but use uplifting, high frequency words, because those words make a massive difference. They become your reality.
Some people have such a bad relationship with money.
True.
And I said to them, everything's energy, everything you have relationship, you got to make it harmonious and loving.
Yeah.
So people who do talk about money in a bad way, I train them to change their story around money and say, money is very good for me. Money brings me happiness and joy and harmony and peace in my family and my loved ones. Money just comes so easily to me. I respect money, and you know, and I'll always respect money. So this is what I say to work with my clients, to have a loving, you know, respectful relationship with money. And watch it just comes.
Yeah, because that will prevent all your money blocks, won't it? And don't think about it too much. You could be like, do that transaction and it's done.
But this isn't just about money. This could be about your health. It could be about your
anything.
About your weight. So it's just about sending out positive vibrations.
High frequency words, vibrations.
And there's an incident. I was working with someone. They had a very strong belief they didn't feel worthy of just anything, love or existence. So because the worthiness is connected to worth as well, value. So once he healed that part of himself and started to feel worthy about himself, he started attracting money. Do you understand? He wasn't even looking for money, but he just started coming to it because he started feeling worthy about himself. He started liking himself. He started, embracing his imperfections and everything. So he felt, I'm a really worthy person. Oh, money, that'll be resolved.
See, these things are like, once you're in that mindset, it starts to come, again, that starts to flow, doesn't it? And it comes naturally. So, almost time up. Another great episode, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just, you know, remember the high frequency words and look after yourselves. Stay happy and do what makes you happy. A little bit of dancing, never harmed anybody, and you know, begin your day on a high, and then the rest of your day will be amazing. So we'll be back very soon with another episode of your Saheli Chat Show. Thank you very much for watching. Jai Gurudev.